everybody. Hopefully you can hear me. My mic's broken. Well, my mic's not broken. The software's broken. So if I'm really quiet, you're just going to have to turn me up. The mic is on absolute full volume at the moment. But it's the same as yesterday. I can see it's just about getting into the yellow. Logitech, in their wisdom, did a software update yesterday. And that's basically what my mic's been doing since they did the software update. It won't load any of the software that does all the adjustments for the mic. So I've unplugged it, I've uninstalled it, I've reinstalled it, I've done everything. They've buggered it basically. So there's nothing I can do. The software just doesn't work. So yeah, gonna have to bear with it for today. I'll have a look. I'll do some Googling when I get off and see if I can figure it out. But you're just gonna have to crank the volume up because I'm speaking as pretty much as loud as I can without waking up the entire street, and it's just about getting out the green. So, sorry to hear about Mike. Yeah, he was a good man. I'm as close as I can get to the mic as well, so I'm not sure if that's better or worse. It's going to make me sneeze if I do that. I'll keep it as close as I can. Morning, everybody. Morning, FTNet. Evil, Momo, Zhurch. Virginia, Champagne, Gregors, Steve, Cyril, Thought Feeder, Mark, Dallas. How are we all doing? So it's Friday. I haven't got much on. Loud and clear your end, is it? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'll have to. I watched back yesterday's stream, and I had to have my PC volume on 3/4, and I could just about hear what I was saying. So I'll re-watch the stream today and see what it's like, but there's definitely something wrong with the software. It's always the way. It happened to me before with this thing. It all goes through this Logitech G Hub thing, and all the settings for like my mouse and everything is all in here, and for my camera and everything, yeah. And all the settings for the mic to make it do what it does basically are in there, and it won't work. And they've done this to me before with my mouse. They updated this software and my mouse suddenly went really slow and I couldn't adjust the speed of the mouse moving around. So I was like having to drag it across the table just to get the mouse to move. And they rolled out an update at some point and fixed it, but it's just buggered. Nothing I can do. But anyway, hopefully it's all right. Need to do a Dom Jolly. Hello! It's good. Not DJ Extreme, but good. Yeah. Well, anyway. Right, so today, market's opening in 8 minutes. Yesterday I closed out what I closed out. What did I close out yesterday? Euro pound. Yeah, euro pound. Got out of that yesterday, and I've got pound CAD long on from the H4 extension there. Which is in profit at the moment. Just looking for a push back up into there. But that's all I've got on at the moment. Nothing much exposure-wise, because obviously back from holiday and not a lot happening. As you can see, there's no ADRs today, dead. And there's no RSI extensions anywhere, dead. So market basically is gone into a what the hell was that on Monday mode and just gone flat. So nothing exciting from the dashboard's perspective to look at all today. We can't look at the monthlies and stuff because the weeklies, they're all skewed. Everything is skewed from Monday's 300 ADR plus moves that we had. So, so this week, basically, hopefully we'll start to normalize stuff and we'll kick off properly next week. But we are in August. It's summer trading months. Tends to be either very flat or very slippy, depending on what the market is doing with news, etc. So news-wise today, there's nothing overnight to look at. We've got CAD unemployment this afternoon at 1:30. That's it. So that's all the news we've got this afternoon. So unemployment is forecast to go up for the Canadian dollar, which is going to mean it should be bearish CAD. So if we get that 6.5, we'll probably see some bearish movement. If we get anything above the 6.5, we definitely will. That will potentially pull down the US dollar slightly as well. So we should have a bearish afternoon on the US markets. bullish indices if that happens. But we'll see what happens. But that's all the news we've got today. Overnight news. We had the German CPI final forecast come in, which was as forecast, which won't do anything. Pretty much it. There's nothing going on. It's just flat and dead at the moment. So one of these. God, no, please. Just read something about Trump. So we're in extreme fear mode. So market is going to be more interested in the Swiss and the yen than anything at the minute. What Trump just said, which made me laugh there. I think the US presidents should have a say in Fed actions. Please, no. Please. Don't put him in charge of the Fed or have anything to do with the Fed. That would be hideous. The president should have some say in monetary policy. No, you shouldn't. No, the Fed can't run monetary policy. Putting Trump in charge of monetary policy as well ain't going to be good. No. God. Can you imagine? Every time Trump tweeted when he was in, the market went nuts. Can you imagine if he actually had a say on monetary policy? Well, I think we should basically just print another $20 billion. That would be good, wouldn't it? I meant 10 billion. The end of the world. So there's no news to look at. There's nothing to look at today. It's absolutely dead. If there's anything you want to discuss or any pairs you want to look at, let me know, because there's no ADRs, there's no RSIs, and there's no news. There's absolutely nothing to do today. So we're going to look at the open on the FTSE and the DAX, trade those. But yeah, apart from that, I really haven't got a lot to discuss today. I've been working on my fundamental analysis side of things. That's a massive job. So yeah, I'll go through what I'm doing on that in a minute. Who is the trade running from yesterday? The 90%. Who is the trade running from yesterday? The 90%. Don't know what you mean. What do you mean? This pound CAD, this isn't running from yesterday. This pound CAD was taken on Tuesday. Yeah. It's H4 RSI extension below 20. So I've been screwing around my template. I keep noticing things that I've cocked up on it. Can we look at coffee? No, I haven't got coffee. I have no coffee. I have a mat that coffee normally sits on, but I haven't got any coffee. Morning, Leshy. Morning, Ismet. Morning, Harold. So yeah, we'll wait for the market to open. But there's not much point in going through all the pairs. I mean, I can do. Go through all the pairs this morning, have a look at everything. But, the market is kind of recovering at the moment from what happened on Monday. And obviously from the unemployment rate on Friday. So it's kind of, most stuff is sitting around doing not a lot at the moment. The Swiss franc is the kind of main sort of independent mover of the week, if you like, because we're obviously in a fear mode at the moment. Euros all start, everything's just starting to move in the direction it should. But as you can see, this week has been after the big pop, it's been very, very flat. So there's not really been a lot going on this week after those initial moves. So got some movement on the pound this morning. Pound is a little bit bullish. Apart from that, not a lot, is there? ORB, yeah. Are you asking what ORB is? Morning Pot DJ? Opening range breakout. Afternoon, Monkey. Afternoon? It's morning. 8 o'clock. Market opens in 3 seconds. And we're off. Range on the DAX was too small this morning. So the pre-market range was too small to trade. So no trades there. Pre-market range too small on the FTSE as well. So I'll be taking the 5-minute opening range today. If you did take the pre-market, you've broken short on both just about. So fairly decent size range going in at the open. We'll be getting onto that in a minute. So just to find my reset. 1 sec. Okay. Whoa. So basically, while we're waiting for the opening range breakout to go in, so I've downloaded the fundamental data going back to 2011 or something. Can't remember. Up until end of July. So this is every fundamental news release that we've had going back to 2013. So basically 10 years worth. So the plan is I'm going to, where's my chart gone? The plan is I'm going to do some analysis based on this and go back, and I'd like to, the ultimate goal would be to build an indicator that will plot all this historical data on chart so that you can instantly go, right, let's have a look at CPI figures for the US. Show me every CPI release in history in my back test on my chart. So you can go back and look at what happened and look at what the estimate was versus actual, the change in percentage change, and then the difference of the actual release to the estimate release, because this here, this difference to estimate is what gives us our movement. Yeah. So if the market has a previous figure of something like 3.6 inflation, it's estimated it's going to go up to 3.8, and you actually get a 4.2. That actual number and the difference between the actual number and the estimate is what makes the market pop, because they weren't expecting it. They price in the estimates. So whenever you see some things like interest rates, if it's a 4.25 interest rate and we're forecasting a 4 interest rate, the market will start to sell into that prior to the release, usually a couple of weeks beforehand. If when we get there, they've priced in 4% and we actually get a 3.75%, the market will collapse dramatically. If we get the 4%, it will just do that because they've already priced that movement in. So that's what I'm interested in, is the difference to estimate and what happens, more importantly, after the event. Yeah. So we know we get news spikes. But what I'm interested in is what happened for the rest of the day after that news. Did we end bull or bear, depending on what the news was? What happened the next day? What happened in the following week after that news? So it gives us more of an idea of being able to build trade plans around what has actually come out with news. Obviously, news, you can't ever know what it's going to be. So the actual trading the news itself is pointless because it could go absolutely anywhere. We've seen news events where it's come out green and it's gone down. Yeah. But after it's gone down, what happens after that? So it's what we're looking for is what's happening the hour, the 4 hour, the 8 hour, the next day, the next week after the differential has come out. So I've got all this data to crunch I can filter it by every currency, by every news event, and obviously then I can get all this information. So first of all, it's a case of just eyeballing charts. It's going to take me quite a long time to do this, but I'd like to build an indicator that plots all this. But I think it's quite an uphill battle to do that because it's pretty complex. So but I might build something on the website as well just to display all this information and also give dot plots. So that's one of the other things that I've looked at and I would like to do. How did I sort this before? I think I did that. Building charts, basically, I'm only interested in high impact news, nothing else. I'm looking at so we can plot also historically what's been going on with each individual news release as well. So you can see, we had multiple PMIs in a row descending. We can look at that period of time and say, right, what was happening to the US dollar during that period? Yeah, so there's all sorts of stuff I want to do with this, but as I say, it's a pretty big job. Okay, 5 minute range is in. 5 minute range on the FTSE is too small again today. We are less than 10% of ADR. There's not enough movement at the open, so not trading the FTSE this morning, but DAX pre-market range. I'll take an ORB of that. So what have we had for the DAX? No trades yesterday. So yeah, we're pretty sideways, aren't we? Bullish at the moment, so good chance we might break down and come and retest this propulsion down here from yesterday afternoon at New York. Very good market structure at the moment. That would make a logical area to start buying today, and obviously heading down too. So we'll see where we go. But at the moment, we haven't even got a break on the go. Very much like hopefully we're not going into that period we had before where it was just flat. The open was just not working. We'll see. It is summer trading, remember that, you wouldn't know it by Monday's movement, would you? But it is. We're in a light volume period for the next 4 weeks, 3 weeks. Two minutes to go on this candle. Not looking good, is it? So we're painting an inside bar here. So if you want to trade manually on this morning, you'll be getting an inside bar set up. So you can either take a break of the inside bar or a break of the outside bar, which would obviously be the opening range today. But it's dead, isn't it? Might be a bit of a grindy session. So morning XR update news, AZ. I think I said hello to Callum. Ms. Health Freak trades. Morning, JC. So yeah, we'll monitor this and trade this, but there's not much else to talk about today. So if you've got any other pairs you want to look at, let me know. I will have a quick whiz through all the pairs this morning, but if there's anything specific, let me know. I just want to see what this, how this inside bar open closes. Have you ever tried trading ORBI SIH for major news events? Yeah, you can't really. Basically, the spread's too big at news, so just you can't do it. So I've tried it. I mean, other people have tried it as well, and some news events you will, some news events you won't. News trading is a myth. People that sell all these systems and strategies and whatever on news trading, it's total randomness. Your best bet is to 1 minute before the news, flip a coin, go long on heads, short on tails. It's exactly the same as trying to straddle trade a news event. If you straddle trade, let's say, for example, this is CPI about to come out for the US dollar now. So if you straddle buy orders and sell orders above and below that level, or pick that range, or whatever range you pick, when that news comes out, 30 seconds before that news, the spread is going to go 100 times larger than it was before. Yeah. So the spread will suddenly be there. You'll be triggered into your long trade even before the news comes out. Yeah. If this thing tanks, what's going to happen is you are not going to achieve that order that you wanted there, because as soon as that move kicks in, the spread is going to go like that. You will be triggered down there on that order. Yeah. So you'll have a long on before the news. You'll have a short on, which is twice the size of the trade that you wanted. Your risk is double. And then you'll go, holy crap, it's definitely going short. You'll close out the long position. You won't get the close you wanted. You'll get the close somewhere down there, making you twice as much loss. And then the thing will spike north. That's the reality of news trading. You go and back test it in a strategy tester, it works absolutely fine because there's no spread. Spread is just not, it's just inhibitive. It doesn't work. Long the DAX. Or the other alternative is, you know, and this is with ORB, people have tried it with the opening range breakout EA as well, because it's the same principle as SIH, the stock index hedge. But the problem with it is, you'll very often get triggered into both trades before the news, because the spread gets so wide, they'll trigger your short and they'll trigger your long. So you're in a hedge before you get into the news, before the news kicks off. Or it triggers your long, then it opens up the spread and stops you out of your long and makes you go short. Then it stops you out of your long, your short. So you've stopped out twice and the news hasn't even happened yet. That's what happens around news, isn't it? Spread goes mental. They're not stupid brokers. They know you're trying to do it. That's why they do it. Morning, Michael. Summer is here. Can feel the trading desks thinning out over the week. Yeah. Time to find a beach. Yeah. Unfortunately, I just come back from mine and I have to sit through this crap for 4 weeks. I was on holiday. I was lying on the beach on holiday thinking, should I just take the summer off this year? Because there's very little to do. Short streams over the summer because there's not a lot to look at. It's one of those jobs where you have to just factor in not making much money in August. It's just the way it is. Okay, so pre-market high is proving a little bit too big a hurdle at the moment for the DAX. Could you look at NKD, please? I don't even know what that is. No, can't help you with that one. I don't know what NKD is. Never heard of it. As Pot DJ has just said, oh, it's a bit big, isn't it? There we go. We haven't had John out for a while, have we? I forgot about John. There he is. Hit the thumb. Going to be painful today, I think. We've got loads of upside room back to that propulsion move. So 125 ADR today. Doesn't look like it's going to get anywhere near it, is it? But there's plenty of upside today. Just nobody playing, is there? FTSE's broken along from the initial opening range. So if you took the ORB, you're 1R. Again, tapped into yesterday's high, struggling a little up there. Meh. Right, so let's have a look at FX pairs. So the yens this week, very, 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 very quiet. Smart Monday. So it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday today. So as you can see, obviously, that was Friday's close, last week's low. We've very, very marginally moved up. NKD is the Nikkei. Yeah, don't trade it. You shouldn't be trading that now. You should be trading that at the open of the Nikkei. So yeah, nothing much moving on that yen at the moment. Just a load of rubbish. FTSE ORB, yeah, it's gone long. Is my mic working? I've just been literally talking about the FTSE opening range breakout. Maybe you're in a lag, and I haven't actually said that yet. I don't know what's happening this morning. So yeah, no movement on the yens much. Very, 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 very sideways, as you can see. So obviously we had that massive volatility in. So market this week dead as a door now, basically for the yen, which is good because it is due a little bit of a rest on this massive squeeze that we've had. So obviously there's a good chance that we will get a decent pullback on this leg for a continuation, but obviously it could also just flag and go. So again, I'm still not trading any yen pairs at the moment. The Swissies, we've had a fair bit of movement on the Swiss, as you can see. So, but you know, as I say, everything is skewed by this move on Monday. It's been a little bearish on the Swiss. So yesterday we had quite a lot of selling on the Swiss. We got a little bit close to ADR. That was about it. So again, not a lot of movement on anything Swiss related this week. Very, very sideways. The Aussie pairs, we haven't had a massive amount of news. Again, sideways. A lot of sideways movement absolutely everywhere at the moment. Look at that. There you go. Aussie, New Zealand, prime example. That's the open. That's where we are. That's the movement we've done this week. So intraday, if you've been scalping 5-minute time frames, yeah, pretty nice. But for any other strategies, normal strategies, very little. The CAD, very little movement. So we've had a very, very light news week this week, haven't we? We've had the rate announcement for the Aussie, but the whole market was shocked by Monday's move. So nothing much else going on. Euro, we are bearish. So we've been waiting for some weakness to come into that euro. The move that we had previous on the euro, I said, was utterly ridiculous. There's no way the euro should be pumping like that on Friday because it's bearish. We've got talk about further interest rate drops coming faster than expected. So it looks like it's, against the Swiss, it's a little bit different, but it looks like it's starting to put that move in now, the euro to the downside. So, but again, as you can see, very little movement in the market this week. Pound bearish still. So we still got that good bearish stance on the pound. Interest rates coming down, which is all good. So everything's starting to move in the right direction, but very, very slow. Very, very slow at the moment. So intraday, probably been a fairly good week if anybody's been trying to scalp the 5-minute markets. But other than that, sit on your hands, as you can see by the dashboards. Yeah, totally flat, absolutely nothing lit. So just a case of waiting. Quick update on, I was running a test yesterday. Let me just run it without visual mode on. I was running. Somebody's mentioned to me about a breakout strategy. I've been looking for a good breakout strategy for a while. A good one. There's lots of crap ones. It occurred to me that we've got obviously ADR reversals built into the position trader EA and the market reversal alerts EA. So I basically just quickly recoded the position trader EA yesterday to do the opposite. So when we get an ADR hit to the upside or the downside, we use it as a breakout rather than as a mean reversion. So I started testing that yesterday, and it's got a very similar edge to normal position trading, except it's getting you in on the downward thrust with a short order, and you're trying to sell further on the pullback for when the actual move continues. And some of the times it works great, sometimes it doesn't, as everything. Yeah. But then I decided to put it into hedge mode. And this is the result of hedge mode. So this is using, I think, a 3R or a 4R and a 2R target, and using position trading in hedge mode. So this is hedging on the 15-minute time frame on ADR extensions. And as you can see, it's pretty good. So the hedging strategy that I was working on, which is what one of the guys that I've known for a long time in trading put forward to me, and I've been trying to change into a position trading style strategy, I've come to the conclusion that that isn't going to work because it's got very, very similar edge to position trading in general. So I thought, why don't we just look at position trading, and instead of using ADR for our entries, RSI for our entries, like the old hedging set file did for the market reversal alerts EA, let's see what ADR does for a hedging strategy. And as you can see, as the test completed, that's 2 years. Is it 2 years? 2.5 years. It's pretty good. Obviously, it does have instances where you're going to get squeezed. Yeah, so you know, it's position trading. You're going to get it. It's not going to work all the time. So, but this is using drawdown control. This is using the new drawdown control method, which is exiting on trade number. So 6 entries. That was the sorry. This was the RSI version. That test you've just seen was the RSI version. But there is an ADR breakout and an ADR reversal, and these both actually produce very good results. Sorry, I just remembered what I was doing. Towards the end of the day yesterday, I wanted to do a test on the old RSI version of the strategy just to see what the difference was. There's not actually that much in it. But the ADR reversal or the ADR breakout version of that set file or that strategy works very well. But the targeting on it, oh no, that was a different one I tested. Scrap everything I just said. I was total lying. This one was targeting 500 regardless. So this was a 2R return regardless of whether it was a single entry, a multiple entry, or a hedge. I was testing so many different variations of this yesterday. I thought I had it on a different one, but I haven't. So this set file basically is just using RSI 10 on the hourly time frame and 70-30. Yeah. So when the market's doing that, or that, or that, it prints money. When the market's going parabolic, it doesn't print money, obviously. So, but I wanted to test it up to date. Yeah. So this is the euro US dollar up to date. This is going up to the end of July. And obviously we've just had a massive squeeze. That's what it did during that massive squeeze. Pretty good. We had a big period of stagnation there. But apart from that, yeah, pretty good. So this, you can replicate this set file. There you go. I'll put it up on the screen. You can screenshot it if you want. So I'm just using it's RSI mean reversion, $250 risk. Scaling is 1.2, 3/4 of an ADR apart. So normal scaling sort of strategy. Exit targets are $500, so 2R. So we're risking 1R to make 2R. Drawdown is automatically closing out old trades when we get to 6 positions. And it is using no aggressive drawdown control. RSI 10 on the hourly, 70-30. And it's using closed candles. So it has to be closed strong. And allow multi-direction trading, hedging is true. So it takes trades in both directions. Yeah. So It's like the old. This is the equivalent of the old hedging strategy that I teach in the bootcamp. So this is the H1M5. I'm just running it on M15, but I'll run it in visual mode so you can see exactly what it's doing as well. This is on control points just to speed up the testing a little bit. Not going anywhere, are we? So there you go. So obviously we got an RSI entry long there because we've got an RSI extension to the downside. Additional entry, additional entry, additional entry, exit. But you've also taken an RSI entry short there while the long was open, and you're scaling into that short position as well. And it's just taken an RSI entry long on that flag. So basically the idea of this strategy is it's exactly the same as normal position trading strategy, except we are trading in both directions. So we're automatically hedging ourselves. So it's the same as the old hedging strategy on the market reversal alerts EA. So you can change this up into a 4-hour time frame, obviously, and it's just going to take less trades and be less aggressive and less risky. But it works well. And obviously when it gets squeezed, which hopefully it will here to demonstrate the point, that trade will just get closed out. Oh, it didn't. It just made money. Shame. You got an RSI long and short in the same place there. Look, additional entry on that long and initial entry on the short. There you go. So it got out the short while the long is going into drawdown. So basically the nice thing about this type of strategy is it obviously the shorts pay for the drawdown. Yeah. So it's only in a really big squeeze that you're going to get hurt, which, there's nothing we can do about those massive squeezes. Taking trades further apart obviously will help, and taking trades at more extremes will help because you're getting in later into the initial move, aren't you? So, but yeah, it's good. There you go. There's a good example there. Look, we got an RSI long entry there, and then we got an RSI short and an additional entry there. As it moved down to there, it closed out the long and the shorts because the longs and the shorts combined made the $500 target, the 2-hour target. So closing all 3 positions in both directions at the same time, which is what that setting in the EA is for. Because obviously you've got double the short exposure. So if it comes down, that will outweigh the long loss, or rather long profit. Short profit overall outweighs the long profit. Another example there, look, getting out of all 3 trades in both directions at the same time. So, yeah, I'm playing around with this set file because I wanted to see what impact it had if we took the RSI versus the ADR. And obviously RSI 10, after that initial research I did last week on the difference between RSI 10 and RSI 14, I'm becoming more of a fan of RSI 10 than I am of RSI 14. My testing on RSI 10 6 years ago wasn't as good as RSI 14. Since we've had COVID, that has changed, and RSI 10 is actually just as good. But it's, there's no right or wrong. You can pick either or. You'll get very similar results using an RSI 14. But this is on the hourly time frame and using 15-minute entries. So the reason it's using 15-minute entries is because it wants to make sure it's gone a really good distance, and we've got a nice strong move back the opposite way before we get into trade. So it's kind of filtering out some of the chop you'll get on M5. But yeah, it's good. But it's hedging. So your drawdown is going to be locked in less. It's going to be less risky. Again, it's just diversification, just looking for ways to diversify at the minute, because these markets are odd, to say the least, at the moment. I'm just waiting to see if I can get one that actually goes wrong. There will be one that goes wrong in a minute. There we go, this one. So we're going to close out this top position at some point here because we've got 6 trades on. Or not. When you want something to go wrong to demonstrate a point, it just prints money. It's annoying. But yeah, it will go wrong at some point. Yeah, we saw it on the backtest, didn't we? The graph at the moment is just flat. Look, it's just everything's making money, isn't it? But yeah, so that's a good set file for testing. I haven't robustness tested it yet out of sample. I haven't tested it on other currencies. Let's do a quick test on another currency live, just see what it does. So just test another currency and just see what the graph looks like. But yeah, it's good. The old hedging strategy was just using market reversals on the hourly. Well, that was another variation that I created. The original one in the Bootcamp is 5-minute entries. Again, there's no right or wrong way of doing anything. Yeah, you know, the hourly one was good. Okay, it's not quite as good as in this currency, or it's just hit a period of squeeze, isn't it? Straight off out the bat. That's just the trouble. But yeah, I mean the hourly RSI strategy was literally just getting in on reversals and just, you know, hoping that the market went enough to get you out, and if it didn't, hedge it. So they're both very similar strategies. Everything in trading works on all time frames because markets are fractal. So the price patterns and the movements that you see on big time frames are repeated on lower time frames. Just the lower you go, the more they happen because of volatility and market movement. Yeah. So the higher you go in a time frame, the less entries you'll get, but the more smoothed out that price action is and the more reliable it is. Yeah. So trading on H1 RSI and then moving up to H4 RSI will give you less signals, but the movement has to be stronger and longer, which makes it more likely to revert. That's all it is. There you go. There's a period of drawdown there. And obviously we went straight into a period of drawdown straight away, period of stagnation there. But, you know, this is what I mean. I've said this many times in the live room. Trading is not about finding a strategy that works. Trading is about finding a strategy that works more often than not. Yeah. So all strategies will work. It's just the market conditions for the strategy have to be correct. So this is why I'm a mean reversion trader. The market spends 80% of its time in mean reversion. So you've got more chance of a mean reversion strategy working more consistently than you have a breakout strategy or a trend strategy, because the market doesn't spend much time doing those. It spends most of the time, as per this week, doing that. And if it does that, and you are shorting pops and buying dips, you're going to make money, aren't you? So, but that's made 26 grand in 2.5 years with $250 risks. Nothing, is it? Drawdowns 17K. So return on drawdown is 1.5. So yeah. But don't forget, this is a position trading strategy. So the drawdown, you can't use drawdown in here because that isn't correct. Yeah, it didn't draw down by 17,000. You had multiple positions on. Yeah. So the highest closed position was 17K, which would have been position 1 up there somewhere probably. But you'd have had a short on, which would have been whittling that down. You'd have had other positions in profit by the time that was closed. So it's very difficult. This is why in the EA, let me see if I've got it turned on. I have the export function. Let me just do an export. I'll run it again with an export and I'll show you what the drawdown is. Does anybody remember what in X-Men Wolverine, just out of, this is a completely off topic subject, X-Men Wolverine, what was the little girl called? Was she X-24 or X something, wasn't she? Anybody know what the name of her was? So I've just realized I've got my drive. I don't know if you can see it. I've got an external drive, and my external drive is called X31. Might be a X-Man drive. Just suddenly noticed that because I watched Deadpool Wolverine over the weekend. Very good. I think she was called X24. X24 she was. X23. Oh, Callum, I think it was X24. Oh, no, X23. You're right. No, she was X23. So I've got X31. I don't know. Who's X24 then? Sabretooth. Right. Let me just get this export out. Long break on the DAX is underway. There you go. So there's the spreadsheet export. So max open profit end of day. Whoops, wrong way. Smallest to largest. Yeah, big. Look, you had a 47k drawdown at the very, 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 very max on that. So that's really big. So you got one outlier there in May 2018. So apart from the May 2018 drawdown, the highest drawdown was September 22, which was 17k. So that's an outlier, one-off super squeeze. But the maximum open drawdown end of day was 17k. So 17%. But you would have got squeezed up to 47, which is too big in it, at some point. But the average drawdown most of the time on it seems to be around 10%. Yeah. Hedging is risky, but you can change that. You can get out quicker, or you can make it, you know, if you suddenly just go to an 80-20, 8200, 80-20, and use the 4-hour time frame, you're going to get less entries. You could probably switch up to H1 to run that. You're going to get less entries. Morning, Vitaly. Is that ADR breakout strategy? No, it's not. I thought it was because I was testing it yesterday. But it's this is just the RSI hedging strategy. There you go. So there's the H4 version. Much less drawdown, half the profit. But as you would expect, you got half the trades. You're targeting the same amount of money with half the trades. You're going to get half the profit, aren't you? But the drawdown will be a lot less. The risk will be a lot less. And I've set that to append. So we go to get rid of all of that, which is the previous test. So that's the new test. Oh, hang on a minute. Sorry. It's set to append. So let me just run that again. That's old data. We'll have a look at that in a sec. Try pound New Zealand and euro odd this year. I will. Hang on. There we go. That had data from 2016. So that, ignore what I just said. That was all wrong. Right, seven grand is your highest drawdown on that. So that's the maximum. So 7% was your maximum drawdown in May 22. That's using that. Let me just go back and do the other version that I was just testing. That's on 80-20. So let's go 70-30 again on the hourly. Takes a bit longer to run this, but and what do you want to try? Pound New Zealand. Oh, I didn't delete the file. Delete. Okay. What's the max DD on this? Oh yeah, it's just catching up. Where's the export file stored? It's in your MT4. So if you go to in your folder, go to tester, files, and it'll be there. Whatever you've called it. I'm just regenerating the history file on this because I updated all the Pound New Zealand. I haven't got the latest data. I can't do that test. Or have I? No, I did download it. Yes, so I did. I did it all yesterday. Sick of these ads on YouTube. Get YouTube Prime or whatever it is that stops the ads. Morning, Tammy. Yeah, we'll run this one and see what this does because this will be an interesting one because we've had a good squeeze on this. So this is running up to July 24, so 2 weeks ago. So this will take into account all that squeezy, horrible market we've had over the last month and the entire squeezy year. You know, we've had multiple squeezes this year, haven't we, on many pairs. So a bit of a squeeze straight in there. That's taken a good chunk of drawdown. That's taken 25k drawdown, that. Do I use tick data suite for backtesting? Yeah. So yeah, squeeze hurt. That's really skewed the result, that initial squeeze there. So what was that? 2000. So I went straight into a squeeze in January 22. Yeah, so it's that rundown there, look. That's where it got hurt. You've also got Liz Truss in the middle of this as well, in this test on the pound, because obviously Liz Truss destroyed the pound, didn't she, in July 22. So it seems like it survived that okay. There you go. There's the squeeze, look, 25k. I mean, this we've just had, this move that we've just had hasn't happened before. Yeah, like I said, look at the RSI here on this chart on the daily. Yeah, that's never happened. Yeah, this is an outlier. This is equivalent in FX. This is equivalent to a black swan event. The move that we've just had. You know, you can't test for this scenario. It doesn't matter what strategy you're using, what indicator you're using, which system you're using, what you're trading. The movement we've had hasn't ever happened before. So it doesn't matter how good you are in a strategy or how good you are as a trader. You can sit there for 4, 5, 6 years, 7 years, 10 years and make a load of money. You didn't this time. No one did, because there is no strategy that has a tolerance for this variance. There's nothing you can do about it. As with I've taken a loss. You have to take a loss because you cannot take that. Everybody that trades trends didn't hold it, because they will have gone, holy crap, this is way beyond extremes. I'm getting out. Because you can't hold it, because you would never expect it to do that. The yen move. No one's ever seen a yen move that fast, that hard. Yeah. So no one held that. You can't hold it because every being in your body is telling you at that point, I got to get out of this thing. It's going to pop. It didn't. Yeah. So, you're never going to find a test that is going to survive that. There isn't a strategy you can put on a tester right now that's going to make money in there unless you curve fit a strategy for it and go, I'll tell you what, I'll get in and I'll use a trailing stop based on parabolic SAR on the 4-hour chart. Go back and test that strategy everywhere else. Didn't make any money, but yeah, it would have milked it there, wouldn't it? But you didn't know that, so you wouldn't have traded that strategy. Yeah, a load of people will be coming out with curve fit strategies and telling you to test it over the last month. Hey, look at this. It's the holy grail. Take it back further. It won't work. So nothing's going to survive this to a certain extent, is it? With certain currencies that have squeezed. But with other currencies like the pound US dollar, the euro US dollar, it absolutely fine during that period. It survived it, no problem. Took a little bit of drawdown. But yeah, nothing you can do with that. Right, breakout on the DAX is just about taking the pre-market high out. That's 1R today. Yeah, if we get to 1R today, I think I'll take it. In fact, I'm on the verge of just canning the order because it's not moving. But yeah, so just to look at the breakout variation on the strategy. So that's the RSI mean reversion. So all the ADR breakout does I can't remember what I set it at. I think it was 1500 on the multi. We'll try that. But the breakout strategy was based on 150 ADR. So basically, we sit there and we wait for a 150 ADR move in one direction, and then we scale in 3/4 of an ADR. So we break out, and then what we're expecting is a mean reversion. So what we do is either it flags and it goes, yeah, in which case we make money, or it pulls back and it goes, in which case we scale in and make money. Yeah, so that's the idea behind the ADR breakout strategy. Let's just stick it on a major, and I'll just show you. Oh, sorry, I'm just going to stop that. Just going to run that on the hourly time frame. So this works on placing an order at a specific time of day. There you go. So there's an ADR breakout short, and then we scaled in on the pullback and exited. So that's basically what it's doing. There's an ADR breakout short, didn't work out. So it turns it into a normal position trade and exits. There's a ADR breakout long, didn't work out, turns it into a position trade. But in between that, you had an ADR breakout short, which it made money on. Yeah. So it works in a very, very similar way. In a normal circumstance, when an ADR breakout is actually a fundamental shift, that's the move you tend to get, and that's what it's trying to benefit from. So, this is what I'm trying to build at the moment, is diversification, so that we've got into breakout longs if the mean reversions don't work, but we can scale into the mean reversions and make money on those too. So running multiple strategies, just so we got diversification, just to protect you a little bit more in these weird market conditions we've got. But yeah, I mean, it does well as well, this strategy. But equally, the RSI mean reversion strategy works well as well. Yeah. This is the thing. All these conditions for entering, there's a good one. So there's an ADR breakout. Let's quickly look at that one. Yeah, so ADR breakout, 150 ADR to the upside. We closed above 150 ADR. So what we're looking for is this to be a breakout and a shift in structure. That's the trade. Yeah, if it turns out to be not that, and it's a pullback continuation, we scale in as normal as a position trade, like this one. I know this is a buy as well. There you go. So there's another example. Look, So you've got an ADR breakout long, pullback, continuation. I've got this set to quite high targets, but if you had it set to 500 as a target, you'd be out of that now. This will close out in a second. Looks like it's getting another ADR. There you go. There's another entry going in there. Look, closed. That's basically what the ADR breakout strategy does. But if you change and use ADR reversal strategy, which is what the current EA does automatically anyway, you'll get very similar results. Yeah. So we're playing the mean reversion. We're assuming that the ADR is going to mean revert. This kind of proves what I keep saying all the time, doesn't it? It doesn't matter what you think. The market will do what the market will do. A signal or a system or a strategy gives you a condition to enter the market. What happens after that trade is taken is why you make money. It's nothing to do with this condition. The condition has a 50% chance of being right or wrong because the next candlestick is going to be that or that. Just because it's done that doesn't mean it means it's not good to do that or that next at all. It means it will do one of those two things. So our job is to extract money out of it regardless of what it does. But what we're looking for is volatility. We're looking for the market to have done something. If it's done something, it's either going to continue to do something or it's going to go, no, that wasn't the right thing to do. So we're looking for the it's done something scenario, the stretch, the elastic band theory. ADR extension, RSI extension is all about market movement, not about being right or wrong on an indicator entry. It's about the market's live. Let's do something. Let's take some money out of it when it does its next thing. We don't know what its next thing is going to be because we can't see the future. But yeah, same thing, the ADR reversal strategy. So the ADR breakout strategy and the ADR reversal strategy have very similar trades because obviously we're getting in either that way or that way. So it depends if it's a pullback or a continuation, doesn't it? But running both strategies means you are diversified and it doesn't matter which one it does. If it pulls back, brilliant, you take the money. If it doesn't pull back, you scale in and wait for it to pull back and take the money. That's the end of the test. 25 grand, so 25% return from a 7 grand drawdown. Profit factor of 9. Pretty good, isn't it? Eight. 8.6 was your highest overnight drawdown. 8%. Like it. But anyway, I'm playing with this at the moment with the breakout ADR breakout strategy, just to give an option basically to do something else with the EA. Another input I'm probably going to add into the position trader EA is end of day close, which is if basically your trade is in profit at end of day, just take the money. That has a real benefit in things like the RSI2 strategy. So if stuff goes into accumulation and you're just going into profit, out of profit, into profit, out of profit, i.e. the trade hasn't worked. So think RSI extending and then price doing that, your RSI will just reset to the middle. So there is no trade anymore. Take it off, that type of thing. So it's basically a kind of a fail safe. So I might add that in as well as another option on the position trader EA. But yeah, there you go. So pound CAD's moving nicely. So we're looking for the pullback into the double bottom and into the propulsion gap caused by the break of that low. DAX is on the way. There is absolutely no way that is getting to a 3R target today, is it? It's an absolute slug. I'd be worried about it getting into trouble at that high there. Same with the FTSE. It's dead. You've had 1R on the FTSE. That's it. If you took it. If you run Euro odd as well, we had 2 similar squeezes this year in 2022. Yeah, test it. I mean, go and back test it yourself. You know, just go and do a test. See what it did. With whatever strategy you want to test. Yeah, I mean the EA will do any RSI. So if you want to use the RSI version, 1 hour 70/30, RSI 10. So we need to do that on 5 or 15. Euro odd. That's going to have to rebuild the database because I haven't tested on that yet. What's the difference between the data you were using that made a difference between 7 and 47? It was an old thing. Basically, the export file that the EA exports is set to a mode called append. So basically, what it does is it adds a new line every time there is a day close. If you don't delete the spreadsheet, it adds a line at the end. So what I was looking at when I was looking at that data was an old spreadsheet. It just added more data into. So that 47K was from some old test. It wasn't that test I just ran. Yeah. So you got to delete that file basically every time you run a test. Otherwise, it just adds the data onto the end of the test. So that 47K appeared in 2016. This test only runs from 2022. It was old stuff. So yeah, ignore that. I've just deleted the file. So I'm just going to run it on Euro odd and just see what it does. The strategy for this week was watch some old movies you missed. Yeah, but I did well scalping this week anyway. Cool. Yeah, 5-minute time frames this week are what you wanted, but not on Monday, on Tuesday. Monday, you're dead. Doesn't matter what you did Monday. Monday was just chaos. There we go. So the test is running. So there's a drawdown there. So we'll see what happened this year on that one. I suspect it will probably get hit the same way. There you go, look. So it took another 10K drawdown there. But you know, it's the Australasian pairs that were the squeezy ones, wasn't it? So you know, you this is why you need to look at your portfolio as a whole and your exposure as a whole. If the Aussie and the New Zealand both squeeze at the same time and you've got Aussie and New Zealand exposure on, you're going to get double squeezed. All the other pairs, though, were just sitting around doing lovely things, making money. US dollar CAD, while those squeezes were happening, US dollar CAD was sitting there printing money. So that helps pay for those squeezes. And this is why exposure is so key, which is what I teach about in the bootcamp. Exposure is key. If you're double exposed, you are double the risk. If you're triple exposed, you're triple the risk. If something goes hideously wrong in a squeeze and you've got triple the risk on, you're going to take triple the loss. Yes, you'll take triple the win, but we're interested in controlling drawdown and controlling exposure. Where are we? We're nearly done. So Euro odd didn't have a problem. It's generated profit. Oh, here we go. There's a problem. So it's just taken a $3,000 loss there, but not because the trade was a loser, because it was the end of the test and it had an open position. So this is the problem with the tester. If you've got an open position when you get to the end date, it just shuts the lot out, whether it's profit or loss. So the actual end result was 114K, but you had $3,000 of drawdown open. But yeah, it didn't have a problem, really. You can see clearly the squeezes. There was one big one there. You had a small one there. well, medium-sized one there. A little bit of stagnation there, but yeah, overall run-up's good. And obviously that squeeze there, it's still in, well, not squeeze, it's still in an open position with 3K drawdown. But you know, this set file is using 70-30 hourly RSI 10. Change that to 80-10, 80-20, you're going to get a different result. Change that to 5 and not 6, you're going to get a different result. Change those targets to something different, you're going to get a different result. Change the ADR distance and the multiplier, you'll get a different result. There is no right or wrong. We can't see the future. But all you can do is use these settings to see what impact these settings have on drawdown and profitability. Yeah, and set the EA to be comfortable for you. If you can't bear drawdown, you want to be using 80-20 on a bigger RSI so that the market's pushed further before you get into your first trade. If you're more comfortable in drawdown, you'll set it to be more aggressive. If you don't want drawdown, set your target shorter. You'll make a lot less money, but you'll get out quicker, which means you won't take the drawdown if the trade is wrong. Space your trades further apart. You'll get less drawdown. Use a small multiplier or no multiplier. You'll get much less drawdown, but it will take your trades longer to play out because you have to wait for more movement in the market to exit those trades. This is what backtesting is all about. It's not about me telling you what works and what doesn't work. It's about you getting confidence that, when I change this from 0.5 spacing to 1 spacing between my entries, my drawdown drops. So I don't like drawdown, so I'm going to space my trades further apart. When I change this to 2 martingale multiplier, it blows my account. I don't like having a blown account, so I'm not going to use 2. I'm going to use 1.5. Holy crap, that's a lot of drawdown. 1.1 doesn't give me much. That's what I'm going to use. Yeah. Do your own due diligence. Do your own testing. There is no right or wrong. All of them work at some point. Which one's going to work tomorrow? I don't know because I haven't got a crystal ball. But they will all give you a result of some description. And then get all these results, put them together, and see what the overall portfolio was. So that euro odd test we just did there, maximum drawdown, maximum effort. So I'm in Deadpool mode now after having watched Deadpool. Maximum drawdown was in March 2022. That was the end. So maximum drawdown. Oh no, it wasn't March 22. No, it wasn't. July 22 was the end. So yeah, you got 17K. So 17.5% drawdown it took to make whatever it made. 11 grand. So not fantastic, is it? But that is caused by that. You started your account with about 10 or 15 grand's worth of drawdown. So it had to make back 10 or 15 grand from that initial drop. You can't see because it's behind my head. Let me turn my head off. You still can't see it. It's off the screen. But yeah, anyway, it's there. The drawdown. I've got too many windows open now. Afternoon from Pontevedra. Afternoon, Blue Trader. Apparently no worries after Black Monday. No worries. Apparently no worries after Black Monday. Is that what they're calling it? We'll see you at the end of August. Huh? Don't know what that means. Scalping to me is the 15-minute, 1 hour. My cart can't take 5 minutes. Yeah, no, that's the right time frame to be using. Scalping is getting out of a trade quickly. So if you're trading the hourly time frame or the daily time frame, if you get in at the beginning of the day and you get out at the end of the day, that's a scalp, isn't it? If you're making profit, small amounts of profit often. Right, so yeah, I will be back on Monday, same time as usual. So there's nothing else really to discuss today. DAX has got 1R, I'm taking it. I'm just getting out 1R. Might as well, actually, I'll take half of it off. I'll take half of it off and let the rest of it run. There's no way we're getting up there today. I'll go for a 3R. I mean, there is no upside resistance today. So, I mean, that is our next upside resistance, that propulsion gap. That's 125 ADR. The way this market's open today, if it gets 125 ADR, I'll be amazed. But I'll see if we can get 3R. I mean, there's a little bit of accumulation in there, a couple of spots. But, you know, there's no volume today. So, New York might be better. So yeah, I'll be back on Monday. I'm going to obviously have a look at the week ahead, and just a quick look at the week ahead next week. It's a bank holiday on Monday in Japan. There's no news Monday. We've got PPI on Tuesday. It's the New Zealand rate on Wednesday. CPI for the pound and CPI for the US on Wednesday as well. So Wednesday's the big day next week. We've got Aussie unemployment. We've got pound GDP. We've got retail and unemployment claims as usual for the US. And then Friday's pretty dead. Retail for the pound is it. So Tuesday, Wednesday mainly next week is the big day. So we've got an interest rate announcement, an inflation announcement for the pound and the US. So we'll have a look at all that next week. Eri, is it possible to trade AMR reversal instead of ADR? What with the position trader EA? No. I mean, no, I mean, I haven't set the EA to trade weekly or monthly reversals because they don't happen very often. So it's the sort of thing. These are long-term time frame trades. Yeah. So if you're doing a weekly reversal, you really only need to check your charts twice a day and see if it's hit its weekly range. If it has, you hit the sell button. So that's kind of the sort of thing I would expect to do with button trading. We've hit our weekly range, buy it. We've hit the monthly range, buy it. You don't really need to automate that, because if you're doing a monthly reversal, it's going to take days to play out. So you don't really need to use those on automation, but will be good for testing, I guess. I have got another EA I've built that I could test that with. I might put that on the list for adding in. I don't trade them because I'm normally in something. The thing with these ranges, yeah, with a weekly range hit and a monthly range hit, yeah, you will find very rarely ever you will hit one of these without hitting an RSI extension. Yeah, you'll hit an RSI extension before this lights up. So if you're trading RSI mean reversion and this lights up, you'll probably be in it or about to get in it because of the RSI signal. But yeah, I could add those into the position trader EA, which would give it more versatility, I guess. I'll put that on the list. They should have called it Blue Monday. At least we would have had a song for it. Yes, that is true. Right, have a good one. I will update you on everything I'm doing next week. But at the moment, I'm just basically trading 4-hour RSI 80-20. So I'm waiting for trades. We ain't got any. I did a manual test using TradingView. Found it very interesting and profitable. Cool. Yeah, I might do that. I'll see if I can add it into the position trader EA to trade AMR and AWR as well. I just don't want to overcomplicate it. But yeah, I mean, it'd be good to test those weekly reversals and monthly reversals. You know, but on months like this, you know, this is the thing with all strategies. We've got 200% average weekly ranges hit. We've got 175% of our average monthly ranges hit. We're on the 9th of the month. I've never seen that before, ever. I've never seen that before. Since I've been using the Dash, I've never seen that. Not on the first week of the month. So, you know, you're going to get abnormalities like this, which are just going to screw it anyway. But for the vast majority of the time, you know, taking weekly reversals and monthly reversals are you know, they're good strategies. They give you much later entries than an RSI, so they're less aggressive. So obviously they're going to be less profitable, going to take less trades, but it's worth testing. I've never actually tested it with an EA. I will stick that on my list. And if it's profitable, it's worth doing, isn't it? Right, have a good one. Have a good weekend. Anybody needs anything, I'll be in Telegram and Discord. I will try and get this bloody mic fixed if they can figure out what the hell they've done to their software. But I'll watch the replay back, and if it's okay, fine. If not, I'll spend some time today trying to figure out what they broke. All right, have a good one. Anything you need, let me know. Other than that, I will see you guys either Monday or next stream. Have a good one.